Round 1.
Welcome back to Inside Boxing's Throwdown. My name is Steve Johnson, my co-host Aurelio Martinez. And today we're fortunate enough to have in studio two of Colorado, or especially Denver, favorite MMA fighters. That's the Schuckman couple. This is Lacy Schuckman, the lady, and her husband Randall, the Green Machine. The Schuckmans are a married couple, both Denver natives,
yes, sir.
Which is truly awesome for us because Aurelio and I also are Denver natives, so we always love to have Denver folks here. We want to start off talking a little bit about your backgrounds. I'm going to let you guys go because your stories are both awesome, and Aurelio will interject whenever he feels like it.
Yes, sir.
So why don't we start off with you? Lacy, let's start with you.
Okay.
And you talk a little bit about what's going on. You can look in the camera and let the folks know what's going on. But tell them about a little bit about your background, and just start off with your background. Then we'll go into Randall's background, and then we'll come back.
Okay. Well, I started training when I was about 15 years old. Began competing in kickboxing when I was 17. They wouldn't sanction female MMA in Colorado or in other states for amateurs. So I kind of worked really hard with Joseph Mason and Keith Kaiser to get female amateur MMA sanctioned. And I had my first amateur MMA fight in Vegas in December of 2006.
Okay, one thing. Joseph Mason, who is he?
The boxing commissioner of Colorado.
Okay.
And Keith Kaiser was the Nevada commissioner.
Good.
Yeah. She was actually the first female ever to fight as an amateur in Las Vegas, and she was the first female MMA fight here in Colorado.
Nice.
Ever.
Yeah. Okay.
And then from there, kind of just changed up our training a lot. Got a little bit more jiu-jitsu, started focusing in on that. Kind of had some coach changes. And then around 2009, I had my first pro MMA fight. That was actually on a Grand Prix, so I got to fight 2 times that night. I lost in the semifinals, but it was fought 2 decisions, so they were pretty good.
She fought a 14-time world champion from the UK in the semifinals. And the lady had never been to a decision, and she's a kickboxing world champion also, Lisa Hygo.
Yep.
And she'd never been to a decision before. And so Lacy was the first person to take her to a decision, lost the decision, but man, it was a war, and we were yelling back and forth, and I learned a lot of cornering tricks from them.
Yeah.
They like to harass the team, the UK people. They're like, you're cut, and you're fine.
Yeah.
And they'll start talking crap. Well, so I started yelling back at them, and after the fight, I was like, you couldn't finish my pit bull. And they go, she couldn't finish me either, lad. Is this like Mike Tyson's Punch Out? I'm like, I'm fighting like characters now, you know?
So they like to mentally get in.
And now I use
Now
that.
he uses it all the time.
I tell my team, drag them to my corner as quick as you can, cut off the ring, like 50-yard line, literally, circle hard, bring them to me, and 2 on, pretty much it's 2 corners, 1 fighter versus 1 fighter.
Yep.
And we're going to talk as much as we can.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Well, Lacy, finish up. I know you had some more to say.
He's a good talker.
He's a good talker.
I love
But
it.
that's
I
a good
love
thing
it.
because Randall has your back all the way. I think
Amen.
everybody
He
knows
does.
that. Just
he is.
from
He's my Don
talking to
King.
him.
He's my Don
There
King.
you go. There you
I'll
go.
take it. But so then, just from there, kind of pursued, just kept going. I got to fight on some bigger promotions like Strikeforce, Hook and Shoot. And then about 2010, we started boxing with Steve Mestis. I ended up having my first pro boxing match in 2011. 56-second KO. I was pretty proud of that.
Nice.
But so it just, continuing to train there and just waiting for the right opportunities in boxing. In 2012, I signed with the Invicta Fighting Championships, which is the female feeder for the UFC.
Yes.
And I've had 4 fights with them. I'm still signed to their banner, so just waiting for the next call. It's kind of on their time sort of thing. And just trying to stay busy with some pro jiu-jitsu shows, and we've done 2 of those now. But this year I'm really looking to have 1 of each combat sport. I want to do a jiu-jitsu show, I want to do an MMA fight, a boxing match, and a kickboxing match. So trying
Good.
to
Now,
work
let
hard
me
towards
ask you
that.
real quick before we move over to Randall a little bit. You being a Denver native and all, talk a little bit real quickly about mom, dad, brothers, sisters.
Well, I was raised by my mom and 3 sisters.
Okay.
Nice.
They were all, we are a pretty close family.
They're all a pain in the
Yeah, you know how it is. Yeah, but over the years, they've learned to kind of support what we do. At first, they weren't really so into it. In high school, my mom wouldn't let me wrestle because she was worried about me wrestling with the boys. And so it's kind of funny that now that's my job.
That's moms. That's
Yeah, right.
moms. Yeah.
But yeah, so for all of us, it's kind of been growing and learning. And over the years, my dad has also been able to come to some of my matches, so it's very nice to have family support. But you know, my team is my family more than anything, and just building that is always kind of my focus in life. So.
Now you mentioned Steve Mestis from House of Pain. He's both of your coaches
Yes,
for
sir.
boxing.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. And your relationship with Steve?
It's
I know
good.
he's crazy. He's
He
a
is
crazy guy.
a crazy guy, but no, he's always, you know, really worked to improve us as total boxers. You know, we don't want to just be people that come in and punch and kick and do these things in other combat sports and think that we're, you know, that type of athlete. And every sport's so different. So he's really focused on helping us to become true boxers and to really absorb the sport for what it is and actually demonstrate that.
Well, I think my relationship with Coach is a little different because, like, my family wasn't always there, so Coach helped raise me,
Oh, okay, good.
and he means a lot. So,
Well, that's
That's
what
good,
coaches.
man.
That's what coaches do. They don't
Yeah.
only teach you; they become mentors.
They
become mentors. Yeah.
Hey man, and don't be ashamed to show emotion. No,
Oh,
because
he's
that's
not.
no, that's a good thing because you know it's we all know from having been there before. You know, most of your coaches, that's a good coach. He plays an instrumental part in your life. And
Oh,
for
he
you to
changed
acknowledge
my
that,
life.
with
Oh, they're
Steve-
supposed to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Steve changed yours. That's great, Randall. Now guess what? You got the floor, man.
well, yeah, like,
Why go to you?
Coach, he's such a parent to me in so many ways because when I found him was a hard time in my life and in combat sports, and I had a lot of doubt in myself as a person. And Coach, he really pushed on me, if you try to be a good human or a good man, that you will have heart in that ring. And so every day when we would get in there, he would like make sure what's your behavior like, you know, like what are you even caring about trying to, even as dumb as it sounds, like getting health insurance? Are you trying to
Yeah.
take care of yourself? Are you paying the bills you know you're paying? Because I'd be like, oh screw it, I'll rack up medical and I'll just go bankrupt. And he'll be like, no, you need to be a better man that pays this and you take care of your shit. So when you're in that ring and I
Yeah.
tell you, nah, you need to suck it up, you know what it's like to suck it up and have done things. And before him, I had been a human punching bag in MMA, literally,
Yeah.
and promoters used me and abused me. And since him, I've literally only been beat 4 times in all combat sports. And it's not only because of what he taught me here, it's more what he taught me here.
Absolutely.
And I can never thank Coach enough.
You know, it means a lot. It means a lot that when you have a coach in your corner and I guess what I'm saying, because I go back 30 years in boxing, so I know a little bit about the coaching, and any coach can get a person in shape and condition. Okay, that's not
Yes,
not
sir.
the issue. Okay,
Yes, sir.
how to win is a different story. How to get them to win, how to get them to dig down deep,
Find that in them.
and how to become a man, how to become
Yes.
a woman, how to become a
Yes.
person in the ring. That's when you know you got someone in your corner. So that's really good to hear.
Totally.
That's really good to
The
hear.
guy that tell you what you don't want to hear.
Exactly.
Don't want to surround yourself
Exactly.
with too many people that tell you what you want to hear.
Exactly.
Real quick, let me ask you, and I know really has a question, but I have to ask you one more, and then I'll let him ask. How does it work with you guys being married? There you already know where I'm going, huh, Lacy? Being married and training and 24/7, it's about combat sports for you. How does that work?
Well, you want to go?
Yeah, I live
Okay.
with my coach all the time. It's kind of miserable at times. No, I never get to cheat, and I'm always held accountable, and so I really appreciate that because Randall's always been my coach since day one. Even though we have our individual coaches for different arts, he's the one that puts my whole game together. Anything I don't understand, he takes the time to make sure I understand, not just let me go through the motions. And I think that's led to a lot of my success. But I will say that at times it's not always the funnest. You gotta separate that husband and wife as well as trainer and coach. And so I think it's just it's finding that balance that makes it work.
Okay, Randall?
Well, yeah, we'll joke a lot about that because there's days after training or even with our other students when we're talking and Lacy and the other students, because I'm some of their friends or I'm a lot of their, I've raised some of them since they were little kids and now they're 20. You know, I'm 31 years old and I started coaching people when I was 15. And so some of the kids that I've brought up now are adults. And they'll talk about Coach Randall and they'll be bad-mouthing Coach Randall to me. And I'm like, hold up. They'll be like, oh, Coach pissed me off. Or Lacy, you know, I'm getting cleaned up after class, and she's going to come in and tell me how hard pretty much Coach was on her. They don't quite phrase it like that, but then I'm like, man, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, they're talking shit about me now. Hang on. But I have to realize when she wants her husband, she's going to be saying how hard training was.
Yep.
And it's not about who I was that time in coaching. Right now, she needs someone to vent to. And I think since we've been little kids and we've trained so much, it's got easier and more. I think the hardest challenge was not getting jealous of each other sometimes too.
Oh, makes sense. You know, and it's good that you guys can kind of keep all the whole aspect together. Absolutely, because you know you're dealing with kids, you're dealing with adolescents, and you're dealing with adults. You're dealing with young adults. So it really it's different stages as you see boxers and MMA or combat going from kids to adults. And I mean, so that's good. I like it, but I want to touch off just a little bit because when we talk about MMA fighters, a lot of MMA fighters want to cross over into boxing, okay, and it becomes very difficult. And you see it in the ring because the rules change. You know, boxing and you know firsthand, it's a different game.
Stances,
exactly.
Legs aren't under them.
You guys have been successful in this, unlike a lot of MMA fighters that come in and they get a rude awakening. You guys have been successful. Randall's a 2-time Golden Glove champion, right? 2 times?
Yes, sir.
Colorado State Golden Gloves champion. So it's for real. I mean, Lacy, you had one pro boxing. So obviously, when you can cross over into boxing and still have the success that you guys have, tell us a little bit about how you make the adjustments when you're in there. Because I saw you both. I saw your last fight when you were in the MMA, where you actually made the guy submit.
Yes, sir.
In the ground. So I mean, I loved it.
My last 9 MMAs, I tapped out 8 guys first round.
It's beautiful. And then you go and you become a Golden Gloves champion. I mean, where you just can use already. I mean, what's your success, both of you guys?
Well, so I got into boxing to help my MMA. I realized that I had a lot of holes and I was getting in danger in MMA fights, coming out whoosh whoosh, no elbows in, no weight on your legs, no head movement. I was kind of being a human punching bag, literally. Well, I think too many people are thinking because I do MMA, I do them all. Well, we have a curriculum for every art. So we have a whole boxing curriculum. We have a whole kickboxing curriculum. We have a jiu-jitsu curriculum, and we have a wrestling curriculum from each one of our coaches. Like Master Lee, he made the kickboxing. Coach Steve and me, we made the boxing. Our jiu-jitsu professor, he was a Lakewood officer, 17 years, made the only certified ground for Jefferson County. So we have his whole curriculum. Coach Mike, our wrestling coach, we have his curriculum. And when you realize, here's each art for what it is, and you've got to start studying them and immerse yourself in that culture. So if I have a boxing fight, I'm going to take the curriculum, I'm going to hang out with Rob Franco, I'm going to hang out with Manny, I'm going to hang out with as many boxers as I can, and immerse myself in that lifestyle and do that curriculum. And I have to recognize how I have to train for each art. Now you're like, well, what about MMA? Where does that fall in place here? When you recognize that boxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and Muay Thai have an area that they can start connecting seamless, because the ball of real combat is only about this big, not boxing combat. That's where we can go past our fundamentals, right? Here's boxing as art. Past the fundamentals is where we go to be a high-level boxer. But where do we connect them is at the fundamentals. So fundamental boxing plus fundamental wrestling equals an ability to have someone taken down off of safe hands. Plus fundamental jiu-jitsu, now I can control from my wrestling to start looking for submissions. Fundamental Muay Thai, if you cut off my boxing, I can clinch. Yeah. If you get away from my range, I can control with kicks. And so, but if I go too far in each in MMA, I'm going to overuse one. But if I don't study enough of each to compete in that art of itself, I'm never going to be successful in the other arts. So I don't think they're taking enough time to study each art for what it is and then connect them for MMA. They're connecting all the fundamentals here for MMA, but they're not recognizing there's a lot of branches past there for boxing, a lot of branches past there for Muay Thai, a lot past there for Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah. Now, real quick, when you mentioned Rob Frankel and you said Manny who?
Perez.
Manny Perez, okay.
Yes, sir.
You know,
You got a lot of Manny's. You know?
Yeah.
Yes,
I really like what I'm hearing because a lot of our audience is boxing that watch the show.
The majority of it.
And now we're getting the MMA audience that's coming in. And I really like your explanation and how you kind of broke that down because
Perfect.
in MMA, you've got so many techniques, so many different styles. And correct me if I'm referring wrong, but you've got you've got your karate, your taekwondo, your jiu-jitsu, your Muay Thai, that you have to defend against when you're in the ring. Okay, I mean it's not just straight up boxing. Boxing, you got to defend against boxing. You know exactly what you got in the ring. But when you're talking about MMA, mixed martial arts, you've got a variety now. Now your opponent his specialty may be jiu-jitsu, where your specialty may be
wrestling
or
boxing,
something.
yeah.
You see what I mean? So, I mean, you got to defend against all these others. So your breakdown was excellent. I mean, it was really excellent for our audience to understand that there's a lot more when you go into the cage in an MMA fight, because you have to be able to defend against so many different styles. So, congratulations. That was great.
Thank you.
That was great.
Really
that
good.
was great.
Really good.
Real quick, what's up next for you guys? Anything on the horizon, or just working in the gym? What's
Yeah, just working in the gym, debating, see where things go, kind of see if pro is what we're hoping for. I mean, we have a lot of looks out there, and I can get as small as 115.
I know.
So I can go from
Discipline,
141
guys.
to 115.
Discipline. Okay?
Yeah.
Lots of cardio.
Oh.
I'm trying to kind of get a fight set right now. I've been talking to a few promotions, just nothing's been panning out. But we're hoping May for Invicta, so that could be very nice.
MMA, right?
Yeah, mixed martial arts. And if Steve would ever get me a boxing match, I could start to focus in on one of those.
Lacy just said, "Get on your job, Coach Steve."
Well, the options are a little bit slimmer
Scarce
for
in
women,
Colorado,
you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no doubt about it.
You got like your four mainstays.
Well, good. We hope you enjoyed this show. We're going to close out here. We have Randall Schuckman and Lacy.
That's
And
Randall, the Green Machine, and Lacy Lady Schuckman.
You
Okay,
bet.
Don't forget that.
Lady, but get in the ring with her or get in the octagon with her. Okay, so you got some. But anyhow, listen, thank you guys for coming
Yeah,
down.
that was great.
This was
Thank you,
great.
sir.
Yeah,
Glad
thank
to
you
have you
guys.
back.
So appreciate
Yeah.
it. Thank you, sir.
It was great.
So, thank you guys for coming
Yeah.
in. We always
Have a
love
seat.
having you guys in.
Now we close our shows every segment we close up. This is just standard to throw down our show. We look at the camera. We tell everybody. Till next time, keep them hands up.
So,
Put them up. Put them up,
That's
guys.
great.
keep them hands up, baby.
Sweet.